A disclaimer that due to my illness it's quite hard for me to remember from the notes I've written, so in some parts it may feel as if I'm reading, and as it's easy to remember small parts, I have also split this video into small chunks. I'm likely to have sensory processing disorder. I haven't been diagnosed with SPD at this time in particular, but have been diagnosed with something that can include this disorder. I'm not going into any great detail on my main diagnosis for a little while, but keep an eye on my future videos and I'll probably look into explaining that in detail. For now I might put you all on a little guessing game. So sensory processing disorder is a complex neurological condition which is most commonly found in 5% of kids, but in fewer cases can also be found in adults. Those with sensory processing disorders' brains misinterpret some or all of the 5 senses, such as our hearing, our vision, our smell, our touch, and our taste. For example, I have a strong sensitivity towards my hearing. Basically, everything sounds a lot louder. Everything sounds a lot, you can sort of say, clearer. I also note that many sounds together, lots of sounds together drive me insane, basically, just about. If I'm out in the shopping centre, I can hear everyone talking, just someone's voice overlapping someone's voice overlapping someone's voice. It just gets too much. I also have a strong sensitivity towards my vision. I dislike bright lights and the sun. I basically feel more comfortable at night. Too much motion really overwhelms me, whether that being driven in the car, a fast-paced action movie, and when I was really bad, on a low dose of my medication, looking around the room could cause a fair bit of sensory overload. And basically I can't concentrate on anything until it's really quiet. I have a moderate sensitivity towards smells. I can't handle unnatural smells like insect repellents, deodorants, a new electronics or car smell, but I don't mind things that come from natural sources like eucalyptus spray, which I buy lots of as it's the only deodorizer I have been able to tolerate. I have a little sensitivity towards touch. I'm not really a fan of people touching me unprovoked. I also get really annoyed when my hair covers my ears, so I cut my hair really short. I have a little sensitivity towards taste. I'm a little bit fussy about what I like to eat. I prefer bland flavours like pasta and rice. I could live off the stuff. If I cook for myself, I tend not to experiment too much, but I still enjoy some richer flavours like Vegemite on toast and a small ice cream snack once in every while. I guess Vegemite isn't really that much of a strong taste, but some people would say it is. I know the Americans really hate Vegemite usually. I see a lot of YouTube videos on it. I feel quite overwhelmed by all this sensory, like information overload, and will usually avoid any places or doing anything which gives me such stimulation in those areas. I don't think it's a part of sensory processing disorder, but I'm quite sensitive to other people's emotions. If someone is the slightest frustrated or angry and is around me, I can pick that up real easily. A couple of examples. A doctor schedules 15 minutes to each of their clients. I can easily detect when a doctor lets us sense that they are stressed and they want to get you finished so they can get to their next patient as soon as possible. Some people might have a little delusion. I can easily sense when someone is slightly out of place. Someone might have had a long day and I can feel their tiredness. Sometimes it's almost as if I'm feeling their emotions myself. I read up online, I'd call that being an empath, which is a highly sensitive person who can deeply perceive emotions in other people and feel what they feel. Also, ever since I was young, I could never handle water or anything covering my eyes or ears. These days, when really sensitive, purposely distorting a sense also causes me a fair bit of distress, such as wearing sunglasses or earplugs. I was looking on the internet one day a couple of years ago and I found these earplugs that lower the sound a certain amount of decibels, and basically that makes everything so it's quieter. It doesn't take the sound out completely, it makes everything sound a little bit quieter. And I haven't tried them yet, but I've tried some other methods like wearing headphones with playing no music, and that seems to bump out a lot of the sound. I've also tried full-on earplugs, but usually when anything distorts what I'm trying to hear, what's around me, that seems to make me feel quite anxious as well. I find benzodiazepines are great at reducing sensitivities to my surroundings. When going out, I quite often take between 15 to 30 milligrams of oxazepam an hour prior to excess sensory stimulation. It also helps manage anxiety driven by that excess stimuli. The only problem is benzodiazepines are potentially addictive, and it's easy to develop a tolerance. So I may have to make sure I don't take it too often, otherwise it could lose its efficiency. Then I'd require more to get the same effect. And if I were to let it progress much further, I could be taking a larger dose too often, and when trying to reduce my dosage, I would be even more sensitive to everything, and it will make me feel a whole lot more anxious and sensitive. So the rule of thumb is to be cautious of benzodiazepine use. Sensory processing disorder can be by itself, with autism, attention deficit disorders, schizophrenia and psychosis.